Hello, world. All that is subject to arising is impermanent, and all that is impermanent is subject to change. Pain is no exception. This intrinsic truth is the only fact that is truly certain. This means that one day your pain arose, therefore, one day your pain will cease. All that exists within you has a purpose. The agony you once felt, the suffering you may be experiencing, it is all there for a reason. If it's in you, it's there because you have unknowingly created it. And since you are the creator of it, you can also uncreate it. But until there's a natural expansion of consciousness within you, until there's a releasement of the finite self in you, pain will be unavoidable. It will resist to be released and continue by your side, continue to be your faithful companion, controlling every aspect of life until you decide it's time to let it go, to free yourself from all afflictions, to release every burden and transcend all despair. This is your destiny, a destiny of self discovery, a destiny of self realization. And as you begin to recognize your true nature, you will discover a true nature that exists in complete freedom, a true nature that's beyond the reach of the finite self in you, and therefore out of reach of all pain and suffering. You will begin to recognize what you are by realizing what you are not. And what you are not is pain. What you are not is suffering. Only the finite self in you suffers. Only the finite self in you dwells in pain. The attached finite in you who lives among infinite other finites. This is who you are not. This is who you have never been. And pain, as difficult as it may be to let go of, is in your life to help you reach this existential realization. If there's life in you, if you can feel, sooner or later you will experience pain. No one is exempt. Pain must be experienced by all, because it is through pain where growth becomes possible. It is through the experience of pain where a wound can heal. Without pain, there is no healing. Without healing, there is no growth. The body does this naturally, but the mind and heart take a bit longer to recover. These are the unseen wounds that create the greatest impact. The unseen wounds that can take a lifetime to heal, unless you are ready. In that case, what can take a lifetime can be done in an instant, an eternal instant, an instant that can last for eternity. Pain and suffering is destined to make its presence felt in some form or another. Some forms of pain are bearable, others unbearable. Regardless of intensity, all pain originates from a single source, a source birthed in you. And since it is birthed in you, it will also die in you. But unlike physical death, this death is not life ending. On the contrary, it is life giving. What I'm about to speak on may for some be difficult to accept, especially for those who have experienced a great deal of pain and suffering in their lives. Pain at levels most of us can't imagine. Deeply rooted pain that may seem impossible to overcome. If this is your experience, just know you are within your right to feel the way you feel. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having experienced the suffering you may have experienced. But also know that everything you've gone through has been in your life for a reason. No experience has come in vain. If it's in your life, it's there to show you where there's growth to be done. If it's in your life, it's there to create inner pressure, pushing you out of the finite self in you and into the infinite self of you. This process recognizes no time. There is no time frame because time is non existent. You can take eternity or you can take an instant. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong. There is only you, and only you can decide when to let go. Only you can decide when to surrender, when to release all that does not belong to you, like the pain in your heart and the suffering in your mind. A mind that manipulates pain like a puppeteer manipulates props. An act destined to end in you once all strings are cut. Strings of attachment, strings of identification, strings in you controlled by you, strings preventing you from taking a necessary leap of faith, a leap of faith into the infinite self in you, ready to be discovered. A leap of faith you will take the instant the realization you are not your pain becomes apparent. All pain has a source. Release its source, and you will release all pain. The problem is that the source I speak of is cleverly hiding within you. It is the finite self. The finite self you have convinced yourself to be. It is here where the source of all pain and suffering is birthed. And since it is here where it begins, it must also be here where it must end. All pain and suffering creates inner pressure. Pressure to jump off the precipice of attachment and identification. Pressure to detach the finite self in you from you and discover your own nature. Your attachments are all that prevent you from making this necessary leap, from releasing the finite known and stepping into the infinite unknown, an unknown free of pain, an unknown that knows no attachments, no identification, a childlike unknown in you, free of the childish world of pain you've known. Physical pain creates inner pressure, pressure to shift your awareness inwards, from the physical to the non-physical. Physical pain is in your life to help you disassociate yourself from your physical body by creating an opening for you to shift your awareness inwards. Observe your pain without judgment, without resistance, and see how your identification with it begins to change, shifting your perception of yourself from being a body with awareness to awareness with a body. Mental suffering creates inner pressure. It is there to push you out of identification with mind, the conditioned mind in you, creator of the finite self also in you, a finite self lost in itself. Through mental suffering, the realization you are infinite awareness with a finite mind and not a finite mind with infinite awareness becomes accessible. Emotional pain creates inner pressure. When the pressure becomes intense enough, it will break through all attachments, break through all identification, like an overflowing river bursting through a dam built to sustain it. The world you know will be no more. Everyone in it will still be there, but you won't be. At least, not the you they are used to seeing. It will be a freed you, a you that's no longer attached, a you that's no longer identified, a you that's free to love, free to accept, and free to be. Because here, there is no longer a need for pain, no longer a need to suffer, no longer a need to need. All you'll have here is nothing, and with nothing comes everything, and with everything comes freedom. Freedom to heal and point others to their healing. So find your freedom, because a free person is a healed person, and a healed person is like a bright flame shining in the darkness of pain. A bright flame that with a single spark is capable of igniting other flames. So go on. Do not be timid. Share your spark, because your spark may change the world. Hey world, if there's pain in you, know that all pain will pass and every wound will heal. How long this takes, it's up to you. You can take eternity or an instant. Your choice. Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed what you've heard, please like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, be kind. Be kind to yourself and others. Thank you.